walk out to the show and fall at your door. We got that info for you. Touchdown on that plane and buy anything. More than just a podcast for you.
Next question, we're going to continue our talk from last week. Last week we were talking FAFSA, financial aid. This week we want to talk the Pell Grant, and we'll break that down. One of the things, I've been doing the research, and a lot of college athletes do not take the time to fill out their FAFSA. So we're going to say again, parents, fill out the FAFSA form. It was available October 1st. Some schools have priority dates of November 1st, but please fill out the FAFSA form. You just need your taxes from the last year. But what happens is, based on financial need, you get access to a Pell Grant. And Pell Grant is federal funds that you do not have to pay back. And they range, I think that you can get anywhere up to like $6,000 and some change. But to the point you guys were making earlier, a Pell Grant, if your scholarship covers the cost of tuition, the cost of college attendance, you can actually keep your Pell Grant and you can use it for living expenses. If the Pell Grant, if your scholarship doesn't cover the cost of attendance, then you kind of have to use your Pell Grant to offset what isn't covered by your scholarship. But it's a great way for athletes to have money that they can use for living expenses, and they don't have to pay it back. And it's based on financial needs, so it's not like you have to worry about, not that grades aren't an issue, but we know everybody's not going to be eligible for an academic scholarship. That's just how it is. Everybody just doesn't, and that's okay. But still, it's based on just your family, your financial need. And when you look at the makeup of people who are playing sports in college right now, not a lot of them are from families that are well off. So they would be eligible for Pell Grants. And I'm learning that a lot of scholarship athletes, their families just never apply. Don't leave money on the table, people. Don't leave money on the table.
One thing I was always taught was to give credit where credit due. When I tell you, Randy was very adamant about us doing that. You know what I'm saying? Frankie, you got to have Jaquez fill this out. And on top of that, my wife, she went to college. That she didn't have a scholarship, just applied and got in college and graduated, and she received the Pell Grant. And sometimes it's based on your GPA or just the income of the family. But if you got a good GPA and you and your family is not like that, then you get more. Like my son right now, he eating on Pell Grants on the free money. He eating right now because he had all of the above. You know what I'm saying? Like, we not making $200,000, $400,000. You know what I'm saying? And him benefiting from that using his mom. So he came up, like, he doing good. So I do suggest everybody, like I said, Randy was adamant about us getting this done. Like, hey, you got to do this, Frankie. I don't care, man. Do this. Like, Randy, like, he's my son's godfather. He's like, man, you got to do this. You got to do that. I don't care. Do this. I don't care. You got to do that. And, and I feel like that's what we did on our podcast as well. That's about podcast, went over details about everybody need to fill these things out and get this free money, like you said.
Definitely.
A lot of families mess up because they don't want to put their personal information out there. But you're hurting your kid, It don't matter if you ain't make that much money, fill it out. Let them know. It's better to help you out with. I used to hear people all the time, even for the free lunches. I'm not giving the school all my information. I'll just pay. Why pay? If you ain't making that kind of money, you got 3 or 4 kids, get the free lunch. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But sometimes they don't want to put their information out there. They just like their private lives.
They tripping.
It's very secure. There's like they use everybody has to file taxes, and it's based on your taxes, and they use an IRS retrieval tool, so it's electronic. Like, this is one of the easiest things. And now some universities won't let you apply for scholarships if you haven't gone through the FAFSA process. Even if you're not eligible for a FAFSA, they still won't let you apply for scholarships if you haven't completed the process. So I cannot stress to parents enough. Please, please, please go online, if you just Google FAFSA, it's FAFSA. Submit your FAFSA form as soon as possible, because free is always beautiful. Grants don't have to be paid. There's no fee to do the FAFSA. Grants don't have to be paid back. Student loan debt is one of the biggest problems that kids have graduating from college. Even college athletes are taking out loans. You could save your child in the long run if you just fill out the FAFSA form to see if they're eligible for a grant. I'd rather have a grant that I don't have to pay back than a loan that I do. And then, to Randy's point, where we're going to talk about this next week, when you fill out the FAFSA form, it gives you the opportunity to be eligible for work study programs as well. So just know that it's super, 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 super important, parents. Any other comments before we go to the next question?
No, I'm good.
All right. So the World Series is happening, y'all, and 2 cities have the chance to win 2 professional sports in one season. So the LA Lakers just won a championship, and the Dodgers are actually in the World Series. And then the other team is the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, the Tampa Bay Lightning, they won the Stanley Cup in the NHL, and then the Tampa Bay Rays are in the World Series. So, coaches, who you got? The Dodgers or the Rays? Who's going to win the baseball?
I'm going with Kobe, man. I think everybody's doing it for Kobe in LA. I mean, I love Tampa because it's Florida, but the fact that these cities have 2 teams that are in the spotlight kind of remind me of when the Florida Gators kind of did it in basketball and football. That was pretty cool. So the fact that Kobe died earlier this year, and Lakers won, and the Dodgers got a chance to win. I actually watched that first game, man. It's really some athletic players out there, man. It was really, really an athletic game. I was looking at the athleticism of those baseball players, and that was all the catch they made to save a home run, and they only won by 1 point. That was really good. So I'm going with LA.
LA.
I'm riding with LA because I know nothing about baseball, but the hometown boy plays. Mookie Betts, he's from here. I've watched him play baseball. I've watched him. He's super good in basketball. Most people don't know that. He went to school with, he's friends with my kids, went to school with them, went to school with their friends. We used to go to Overton to watch him play all the time. So just because he's the hometown guy, I'm going with LA and Mookie Betts.
All right, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like Randy. I go with LA as well, just because of the Kobe situation. I was a fan of his, and it does mean something to celebrate him. If they're celebrating him, I want to as well. So I'll go with them. Growing up, I really wasn't a baseball fan. I only liked the Braves for a long time because Chipper Jones, was from here, and everybody always marketed him everywhere. Chipper Jones baseball, whatever, and he came out of Bowles High School, the same as Mac Jones. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy about that. Hometown dudes, like you said, that feels good seeing people from your hometown, be celebrated or reach their goals. You know what I'm saying? I like that. So I'll go with LA.